If you have played MMOs before, you know they are often notorious for their questionable monetization practices. In my case, I was playing Mu Online. After a few hours of grinding and seeing how pay to win it could get, I thought, why not try making my own MMO? How hard it could be. Of course, I wanted to be realistic, so I gave myself a strict 7-day deadline and only aimed for a minimal viable product just to see how far I could get. Now, if you have never played Mu Online, here is a quick rundown. It's pretty straightforward. You basically do a few things on repeat. First, you cast spells, then you walk around looking for monsters, cast more spells, kill those monsters, and level up, gradually getting stronger. Sure, there's more depth to it, but I wanted to keep things simple, just enough to see if I could get something playable within 7 days. So here's what I'm aiming for. Movement. The player clicks anywhere on the screen, and the character moves there. Skills. By right-clicking, the player can cast a spell or skill. Monster spawns. Enemies will appear in the world at set intervals. Combat. Monsters can attack the player, and the player can fight back. Progression. Killing monsters awards experience points, letting the player level up and grow stronger. That's it. No fancy gear or massive quest lines, just the core gameplay loop of moving, fighting, and leveling. We'll see if I can get this all working in just 7 days. Day 1 was pretty straightforward. I set up my client in Unity, mostly because it's the only game engine I'm really comfortable with. For the server, I went with SignalR in .NET. It's a framework I know well, and it handles real-time communication nicely. By the end of the day, I had a couple of cubes moving around in a basic scene. Nothing fancy yet, but hey, it's a start. On day 2, I was focused on adding a spell for the player. In Mu, when you cast something like Fireball or Meteor, there's a flashy effect, but I'm pretty sure it's just a visual effect, not a real projectile. So I decided I could do better. With that in mind, I spent about 8 hours coding my own server-tracked projectile. By the end of the day, I had a very basic floating projectile in the scene. It wasn't pretty, but hey, it worked. Originally, I'd planned to dive into stats and leveling on day 4, but since I felt I was making good progress, I took a quick detour to work on graphics. I imported some assets I'd bought to give my little project a bit more charm. Day 5. Once I got that out of my system, I shifted back to the leveling mechanics. I added server-side logic so monsters give XP to whoever lands the killing blow, and I put together a minimal UI for player stats and level up points. On day 6, I fixed some bugs, polished a few animations, and did a bit of research online for mechanics and design ideas. That's when I stumbled onto a random forum post where someone had recreated the Laurentia map, the iconic starter zone. I couldn't believe it was real, but I took a chance, risking potential viruses, and downloaded it. It turned out to be a decent recreation, though very low res, so I replaced a bunch of the basic textures and models with higher quality assets I already owned. The rest of the day was spent tweaking everything to make it look a little nicer. With the core features mostly done, day 7 was all about squashing minor bugs and messing around solo to see how everything felt. I also did some performance tests to make sure to measure the server performance, at least in theory. If you have made it this far, thank you for watching, seriously, it means a lot. Now, I need your help. I have no idea what to add next to this project. Should I add new classes, more spells, maybe item drops? Let me know in the comments, please. Consider subscribing, drop a like, and leave a comment. It really helps, and who knows, maybe your idea will be the next update. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers!